Hello student, myself Gawai Ankush Siddharth. I am working in Department of Commerce, Vivekanand Art Sardar Dilip Singh Commerce and Science College, Aurangabad. Welcome to all of my video lectures of elements of cost. Now in this video we discuss about of elements of cost. Student, only knowledge of total cost cannot be satisfy the needs of management. Management is to be provided with necessary data to analyze and classify cost. For this purpose, the total cost is analyzed by elements of cost, that is, by the nature of expenses. Student, elements of cost is a most important topic of cost accounting because cost accounting main purpose of ascertaining of cost, not only total cost but also nature wise cost. And strictly speaking, the elements of cost are three. First is material, second one is labor, and third one is expenses. These are three elements further classified into direct and indirect categories. The elements of cost will be clear in the chart: material cost, labor cost, and expenses. There are three main costs of elements of cost, and further classified direct and indirect. The indirect material, direct labor, indirect labor, then last direct expenses, indirect expenses. And student, all direct expenses it is called as the prime cost. And second one is all indirect expenses, it means that overheads. Direct cost, it is the cost which is directly chargeable to the product manufacturers. It is easily identifiable, it is a main part of the cost. Indirect cost, it is that portion of the total cost which cannot be identified and charges direct to the product. These are also called burden cost, supplementary cost, and manufacturing expenses. It means that direct cost is a main cost of total cost. And then indirect cost, it is called as the supplementary cost and manufacturing expenses or burden cost. Direct materials are those material which can be easily identified with the cost center or cost unit. It is the cost of basic raw material used for product. जे असं मटेरियल जे की प्रोडक्शन करत असताना त्या मटेरियलचा डायरेक्ट यूज होतो, त्या मटेरियलला आपण डायरेक्ट मटेरियल असे म्हणतो. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, टिम्बर इन वुडन फर्निचर्स, cloth in dressmaking, bricks in building, etc. Indirect material, it is the cost of material other than direct material which cannot be charged to the product directly. These are used in small quantity or is small value. प्रोडक्ट तयार करत असताना किंवा प्रोडक्शन तयार होत असताना जे मटेरियल डायरेक्टली यूज होत नाही परंतु इनडायरेक्टली ते यूज केलं जातं त्याला आपण इनडायरेक्ट मटेरियल असे म्हणतो. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, वार्निश brush, cotton waste, etc. Direct labor, it is the amount of wages paid to those workers who are engaged on the manufacturing line for conversion of raw material into finished goods. These workers directly handle raw materials, work in progress, and finished goods. Direct wages are also called as a productive labor, process labor, or prime cost labor. Direct labor, it means असे लेबर की प्रोडक्शन करत असताना ते प्रत्यक्षात मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग लाईनमध्ये असतात. प्रत्यक्ष ते लेबर प्रोडक्शन तयार करत असतात. अशा लेबरला आपण डायरेक्ट लेबर असे म्हणतो. दिस लेबर डायरेक्टली कनेक्टेड फॉर द मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग लाईन. Indirect labor, it is the amount of wages paid to those workers who are not engaged on the manufacturing line. The labor for working on the product after it has been finally produced or during the process but not directly connected is known as the indirect labor. For example, storekeeper, foreman, gatekeeper, etc. Indirect labor हे असे लेबर असतात जे डायरेक्टली मॅन्युफॅक्चरिंग लाईनला कनेक्टेड नसतात, एंगेज नसतात. अशा लेबरला आपण इनडायरेक्ट लेबर असे म्हणतो. फॉर एक्झाम्पल्स, स्टोअर कीपर, फोरमॅन, गेट कीपर, सिक्युरिटी गार्ड, सफाई कामगार इत्यादी. Direct expenses, it is the amount of expenses other than direct material and direct labor which is directly chargeable to the product manufacturers. For examples, higher charges of special machinery or plant, cost of driving and design, cost of patent and royalties, cost of defective work, etc. आपण एलिमेंट्स ऑफ कॉस्टमध्ये मेनली 3 एलिमेंट्स बघितले कॉस्टचे. त्याच्यामध्ये पहिला एलिमेंट्स आहे मटेरियल, दुसरा एलिमेंट्स आहे लेबर, तिसरा एलिमेंट्स आहे एक्सपेन्सेस. जे एक्सपेन्सेस मटेरियल एक्सपेन्सेस आणि लेबर एक्सपेन्सेस नाहीत त्या एक्सपेन्सेसला आपण डायरेक्ट एक्सपेन्सेस असे म्हणतो. डायरेक्ट एक्सपेन्सेसमध्ये आपण बघितलं की हायर चार्जेस ऑफ स्पेशल मशिनरी और प्लांट, कॉस्ट ऑफ ड्रायव्हिंग अँड डिझाईन, कॉस्ट ऑफ पेटेंट अँड रॉयल्टीज, कॉस्ट ऑफ डिफेक्टिव्ह वर्क etc. Indirect expenses, it is the amount of expenses which is not chargeable to the product directly. It is cost of giving service to an organization or to the production department as a whole. It include factory expenses. It include factory expenses, administrative expenses, selling and distribution expenses. For examples, rent and insurance of building, general manager salary, telephone expenses etc. इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेन्सेस हे अशा प्रकारचे एक्सपेन्सेस असतात जे डायरेक्ट एक्सपेन्सेस नसतात. इनडायरेक्ट एक्सपेन्सेस include factory cost, administrative and office cost, selling and distribution cost. Indirect expenses मध्ये 3 प्रकारचे एक्सपेन्सेस इन्क्लूड आहेत. ते इनडायरेक्ट आहेत. त्याच्यामध्ये फॅक्टरी कॉस्ट आहे, ॲडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव्ह एक्सपेन्सेस आहे आणि सेलिंग आणि डिस्ट्रीब्युशन एक्सपेन्सेस आहेत. द फॉर एक्झाम्पल्स, रेंट आणि इन्शुरन्स ऑफ बिल्डिंग. general manager salary and telephone expenses, etc. Thank you.